Hello everyone, I'm George Courser. I'm here to talk today on the topic of information security. The question before us today is fear at any cost. In the field of information security, there seemed to be, at least among the lay public, a problem of hysteria. A lot of people believe that no matter what the problem is, it should be solved with perfect precision, no matter how much it costs. For those people that are somewhat more sane, a lot of them fail to quantify the problems that they're working on and the solutions in dollars per person per year terms. So the solution may cost more than the problem, or the problem may not be worth solving, or may not be possible to solve cost effectively. The real issue is that in the information security field, when you read these papers, rarely does it quantify the cost of the problem and the solution in dollars per person per year. We want to look at a cost-benefit analysis. Let's take an example, cyber identity theft. Now, in regular identity theft, that's all identity theft, the Department of Justice Bureau of Labor Statistics indicated in the 2008-2007 time frame that the losses were $9 billion over a one-year period. There were 6 million incidents of, roughly, of losses during that same period. In other words, the cost per incident was $1,500. So what that says is, for identity theft, and that's all identity theft, not just cyber identity theft, for all identity theft, $9 billion divided by 300 million people in the United States of America roughly equates to $30 per person per year. Now, cyber identity theft, it was estimated by the United Nations, is roughly 5% of all identity theft. And that's using US numbers, by the way. So if 1/20th or 5% of all identity theft is cyber identity theft, then cyber identity theft, computer hacking of your credit card and so forth, is $1.50 per person per year. Now, as the Bureau of Justice Statistics points out, most people suffer zero economic loss. Most of the victims suffer zero economic loss. The corporations are the ones that pay the bulk of the money. So really, corporations are paying 77% or $1.12 of that $1.50, and consumers and citizens are paying 23% or 34 cents per year. So the question becomes, how important is it for us to spend a lot of time and money as a society on cyber identity theft when it's only costing us 34 cents a year? There may be other problems that are bigger than that that may require our attention. Another thing to look at is the attacker. How much skill does it take to actually do this attack? How much growth would this attack likely have? And what are the risks to the attacker? If you consider that the cost per incident, I have here AV, is $1,500, there's a widely reported Gartner Group report that says that the probability of being caught for identity theft is about 1 in 700. If that's the case, then the probability of the attack, of getting caught, times the cost, basically if you divide that probability times the benefit of that attack, it basically means that that if you're willing to go to jail for $1 million, go ahead and attack. If you're not willing to go to jail for $1 million, don't attack. And most people wouldn't. I mean, even if they would, those people who would do it probably don't have the skill necessary to do the attack. That's why there's so few of them. Anyway, maybe there's not. But anyway, the question basically is, what's the economic feasibility of cyber identity theft security? Many in the information security industry, at least in the researchers, lament that businesses don't spend enough money protecting against identity theft. Well, it may be cheaper for them to just pay off the theft than it is to protect against it. In other words, if there's no use putting $1 million lock on $1,000 bank account. So the cost benefit has to be examined closely. The other thing is, not all of this is credit card theft. If you take a look here at the defender and attacker profiles, 53% of the people in that Bureau of Justice Statistics report, 53% of them were credit card theft. But there were a lot of other kinds of identity theft. Medical care, people would try to get medical care fraudulently, try to get a job fraudulently. They may use somebody's social security number. They might try to get some government benefits of some sort. They may try to rent an apartment or a house. Any kind of this false information will be considered identity theft. So not even all of the stuff that I mentioned was credit card theft. Defenders, by the way, tend to be higher income people in higher income families, so they may be more able to weather the attack. Now let's take a look at just comparing, say, cyber identity theft here with automobile accidents. The 2008 total incidence of automobile accidents is roughly 10 million. All identity thefts, as we said before, about 6 million. Cyber identity theft was about 1/20th of that. Now, the cost per victim, we're going to assume that all identity theft and cyber identity theft is the same, $1,500. But the cost of an automobile accident, when you include the automobile and the medical and so forth, averages about $16,000. So, now that's not to say that every single car accident is $16,000. There may be some of them that are $250,000 and some of them that are just, $2,000. But according to the Automobile Industry Association that I looked up, it's $16,000 per accident on average, 2008. So if we multiply the number of incidents times the cost of the incident, automobile accidents are a much more significant cost to society than identity theft. Cyber identity theft barely appears on the radar. The other thing to think about is, to my knowledge, there has never been a death that was caused as the result of identity theft. No one has died, whether it's cyber identity theft or just regular identity theft. But in automobile accidents, many people die. 40,000 people per year, or during 2008, died. So this is would seem to be more of many more times threatening situation than cyber identity theft, but it doesn't get as much press because, of course, it's commonplace. I guess the point that I'm trying to make, and you have to read the paper for more details, is the hysterical henny penny type responses of, oh my gosh, this is a horrible situation, something has to be done. They need to be tempered with some numbers. I have had people tell me that, because I wrote this paper, that means I don't want to do any kind of research or solve any kind of problems in information security. That, to me, is a hysterical response. Any kind of hysteria is not helpful. As a matter of fact, overcompensating, exaggerating threats helps enemies. Most of the military people will know that if you try to overprotect something, the enemy can go in some other area and attack you. So this hysteria is not just an emotional nuisance. It's actually adding to the threat. Tough to quantify that because we don't have the quantifications in the threats themselves. But we could quantify it with the research I did here with identity theft to say how much is being spent on it versus how much is being solved. And that brings me to my final point. We need to quantify threats in dollars per person per year terms. If I had my druthers, every single information security paper would have a DPPPY number, dollars per person per year, as an estimate of the cost of the problem and an estimate of the savings of the solution.